Well, hopefully this is the end of the BBC as we know it, that being a left-wing broadcaster organisation that sees working class people being hassled to fund services they may well have absolutely no interest in whatsoever. And the thing is, I think the BBC, which has basically become a student union on steroids, it has been for a long, long time now and getting worse, they've way overplayed their hand in terms of they're not actually that important anymore. The GB News is overtaking the BBC. YouTube will soon be overtaking the BBC. And the ridiculous gaslighting we've seen for many years from the BBC, that people like me are just sort of rabid right-wingers. It's all in our minds, the idea of there being left-wing bias at the BBC. Well, I think actually what you're seeing now is example after example after example where there is very clearly, very deep-seated, very blatant BBC bias on issue after issue after issue, and it's all one way. And not only that, but the BBC now actively damaging this country on the world stage. And you've seen the US President Donald Trump responding to this complete embarrassment, frankly, for our country. Incredible harm that this whole scandal has had on our international reputation with our strongest, most important ally. Oh, and I know, yes, you've seen various people resign. The Director General, Tim Davie, resigned. The Head of News, Deborah Turness, resigned. But this is an institution, this is a channel, this is a broadcaster fundamentally in total and utter denial still. They're not institutionally biased, apparently.
I would like to say it has been the privilege of my career to serve as the CEO of BBC News and to work with our brilliant team of journalists. I stepped down over the weekend because the buck stops with me. But I'd like to make one thing very clear. BBC News is not institutionally biased. That's why it's the world's most trusted news provider.
Why did you fail to deal with the mistakes that were made?
And see my teams. Thank you so much.
Do you think that the journalists are corrupt like President Trump says? Do you think the journalists
our journalists aren't corrupt. Our journalists are hard-working people who strive for impartiality, and I will stand by their journalism.
Is there institutional bias at the BBC?
There is no institutional bias. Mistakes are made, but there's no institutional bias.
But why weren't the mistakes dealt with on Trump, on anti-Semitism, on women's rights?
I'm sure that story will emerge, but for now I'm going to go in and see our team.
Do you think the board activity...
And so we come back to reality in the real world. The research very clearly now shows the public already think the licence fee is too high, that it's bad value for money. Most people would prefer a subscription-style arrangement instead of the current licence fee. I thought it was very telling indeed, that Reform's event for small business people today. Just look at this response on the verdict of the BBC. This is what people out in the country now think of this organisation.
The BBC has been institutionally biased for decades. I well remember the Wilson report 2 decades ago, saying the BBC were not covering areas like Europe and immigration with any sense of impartiality. And you could, add on to that net zero, climate change, all their interpretation of the horrors that have happened in Gaza. And now, of course, the United States president. I spoke to the president on Friday. He just said to me, "Is this how you treat your best ally?" It's quite a powerful comment, isn't it?